Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has confirmed the resignation of Senator Abdullahi Adamu and Iyola Omishiri as National Chairman and National Secretary. The Deputy National Chairman, North, Senator Abubakar Kyari, now takes over the leadership of the party. The new leadership of the APC has postponed the earlier National Executive Committee meeting scheduled to hold on 18th and 19th of July. All right, and we have our correspondent, political correspondent Salihu Gwanara in the studio right now to give us further update on the present situation in the ruling All Progressives Congress. Salihu Gwanara, thank you very much for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, tell us, following this new leadership for the All Progressives Congress, what is at stake?
It's okay. Thank you. It's been a long day at the APC National Secretariat today, as not only the party members, Nigerians in general, let me say, woke up to the surprising development within the party leadership, which some see as democracy at party level in play. So it's a thing that to many, especially the party members, it came to them as a surprise, as they don't have a prior knowledge to this new development. First, it started as rumor, where the social media was agog with so many reports, unconfirmed reports about the resignation. But as we confirm, the Nigerian Television Authority confirmed it's no longer a rumor. The Deputy National Chairman, North, Senator Abubakar Kyari, after a long meeting behind closed doors, the meeting started around 11 this morning, and till around a few minutes to 3 before they engaged the media, where it was formally confirmed to the world and Nigerians that Abdullahi Adamu has resigned as the national chairman of the party, alongside the national secretary, Senator Iyola Omishiri. When the meeting was going on at about 11:20, the national secretary, the now resigned former national secretary, was at the secretariat. Iyola Omishiri came to the secretariat, though stayed briefly. He didn't engage the press. We attempted to speak with him. He declined. Went into his office, stayed for a few minutes, again left. He did not even participate at the meeting. The meeting started before he arrived at the secretariat. So he left. When he was also leaving, we made an attempt to talk to him. He declined the comment. For now, it's official, and Senator Abubakar Kyari is the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress. And the only decision reached for now is the meeting scheduled to hold later this week.
I was going to ask you that, Gwanara, before you stated it. Following the postponement of the meeting that is scheduled for 18th and 19th of this month, what does this portend for the ruling All Progressives Congress? That's
the early decision reached by the new leadership of the party, as announced by Senator Abubakar Kyari, that that meeting for now has been put on hold, that new date will be announced in due course. For now, they have to kind of do some housekeeping to make sure that the new leadership is stable, because this to them is like it's not what they probably expect at this moment. So they have to probably get, they need more time to plan towards the successful meeting scheduled to hold. That meeting was earlier scheduled to hold last week because of the president, the leader of the party, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's engagement in Guinea-Bissau, and the subsequent one now in Kenya. They have to move it to later this week before this development again, and that affected the meeting. So what the new leadership has assured the party members across the country and even beyond is that the party, everything is in order. that what happened is a case of resignation, not even sack.
Okay.
If you can remember in the past, the party has experienced leadership issues where some leaders, like Comrade Adams Oshomole, who is now a senator, was even removed from office. The entire National Working Committee was removed from office before they constituted the Government Malabuni-led caretaker and extraordinary convention committee.
Gwanara, just very quickly before I let you go,
yes.
I'm sure you stayed there for hours.
Yes.
Were you able to interact to some of the party members there who were not part of the meeting? What was the body language like, having a new leadership just before you came to the studio?
Yeah, the party, they operate in a way that they don't allow the staff of the secretariat to engage the media. The party has a platform, they engage the public, that is the publicity department, and the publicity department headed by a director and other senior staffs. The director, I met him, he declined comments. Of course, he said it's purely the issue that has to do with the National Working Committee. The party staff did not make any comments. The only comment they make are unofficial comments that were probably personal comments to probably some of us who engage them. The atmosphere is that of peace. Okay. There's no trouble. There's no sign of, you can't, it's a situation, it's a development that did not probably warrant somebody to either come and celebrate or be sad. They take it as it comes. They are workers at the secretariat. They look forward to the new leadership of the party and move on with whatever it is.
All right.
All along, the person who is supposed to make it official and probably clear ways before the National Working Committee took the decision and informed us what happened is the publicity secretary, who did not do that, and unfortunately he was not part of the meeting. He would have been in better position to probably even engage and tell us what the mood of the staff at the secretariat is. But as it is, everything, the atmosphere is cool, everything is going on. People are going about their usual secretariat activities freely without any problem. In fact, there was no presence of any security.
Gwanara, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. I know you're very passionate about this whole situation, and of course, we'll definitely keep you will keep us updated rather as events unfold. And we also hear the past the chairman was not there, talking about Senator Abdullahi Adamu was not present at the meeting, right?
Yes, he was not present at the meeting.
Just for clarity.
Yes, he was not at the meeting. It was only the secretary who came and stayed a few minutes and left. Other NWC members were there.
Gwanara, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time, and well done for the good job you've done. Keep us updated. That was our political correspondent, Salihu Gwanara, giving us update on the new development in the ruling All Progressives Congress. Senator Abubakar Kyari takes over the leadership. Let's turn to other issues. The Justice Kadirat Akanu-led election petition tribunal sitting in Enugu has granted the withdrawal of the petition by the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, I beg your pardon, Grand Alliance, Mr. Frank Nweke Jr., against Governor Peter Mba of the People's Democratic Party. Nweke announced the withdrawal of the petition at the tribunal on Sunday through his counsel. Let's hear from Susan Eze.
The Enugu State governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abga, in the March 18th governorship election, Mr. Frank Nweke Jr., had on the 11th of April 2023 filed a petition challenging the declaration of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Peter Mba, as the winner of the election. Nweke, who came third in the election with 17,983 votes against Peter Mba, who had 160,895 votes, announced the withdrawal of his petition at the tribunal. Counsel to the petitioner, Race Achara, who announced the withdrawal on behalf of his client through an oral application, said the withdrawal became imperative to reduce the workload of the tribunal. The application was granted by the Justice Kudirat Akano-led tribunal. Meanwhile, in the case of the petition filed by Labour Party against Peter Mba of the PDP, following the subpoena served on the INEC to produce specific BVAS machines used in the election in some particular areas. The resident electoral commissioner, Enugu Chukwuemeka Chukwu, who was represented, insisted that the election was free and fair and that the commission came to the tribunal with beavers machines demanded for in the court order. With the expiration of the period for the Labour Party to prove its case, the party closed its case, while the first respondent, INEC, will open defense on the next adjourned date, which is Tuesday, 18th of July, 2023. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has departed Nairobi, Kenya, after participating in the African Union 5th Media Coordination Meeting. President Tinubu took off from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport at about 10 a.m. Nigerian time. State House correspondent Musbahu Danwahab reports that on his first participation at a continental event, he presented a position of ECOWAS on various issues directed towards achieving continental integration. Presidential Advisor on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, says the outing has been fruitful.
Number one, it's another testimony that Nigeria is back on the global stage, specifically on the continental stage in Africa, and every African is now becoming more proud of Nigeria because Nigeria is taking its rightful place that had been neglected for a while. And Nigeria actually proved, her point that Africa must be stable, must be secured, even before any meaningful infrastructural development, economic activity can adequately and effectively take place. That was the main thrust of the address of our president there. Of course, he also presented the status report of the ECOWAS, the state of ECOWAS in terms of integration, in terms of free movement of people amongst the ECOWAS countries, in terms of security, stability, and political progress of West Africa. In short, his address was well received and well applauded by all and sundry. And even after the event, as usual with all these international events that is attended, a lot of heads of state wanted bilaterals with him, and we're accommodating them. It's quite a proud moment for Nigeria, I assure you.
From the legislature, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs has described as mischief reports in some sections of the media that the 2022 Supplementary Budget Amendment Bill passed last Thursday was padded. A statement from the chairman of the committee, Senator Adeyemi Adaramodu, explains that the passage of the bill was part of the constitutional duties of the Senate to accommodate funding for the federal government's palliatives for the populace over subsidy removal and other national needs. The statement added that the 70 billion naira allocation to the National Assembly will not be paid to any legislator, but will be managed by the National Assembly bureaucracy for exigent needs, such as the provision of working tools within the complex to make it conducive. Screening of the recently appointed service chiefs by the House of Representatives is currently ongoing behind closed doors at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. The screening, which is part of criteria for the final confirmation of the nation's security chiefs, is being conducted by an ad hoc committee constituted by Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Igben reports that the screening panel is chaired by Representative Babajimi Benson, with all the 8 principal officers of the House from the majority and minority parties as members. The appointees being screened are Acting Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, Acting Chief of Army Staff, Major General Abiodun Lagbaja, Acting Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, and Acting Chief of Air Staff, Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar. Today is the International Day for Criminal Justice, an annual observance marked every 17th of July to commemorate the significant role played by the International Criminal Court and other organizations in providing justice to victims of injustice, war, crimes, genocide, and terrorism. An opportunity to promote the rule of law, human rights, and opposition to impunity. The day also recognizes the issues faced by victims of these atrocities. This year's theme is achieving social justice through formal employment, a timely topic for a modern age where criminals are increasingly relying on advanced internet-based means instead of traditional criminal tactics. And earlier, I spoke with a barrister, Emmanuel Aguele, on the imperatives of ending impunity and injustice as the world marks the International Criminal Justice Day. And talking about the International Criminal Justice Day, a day where people come together, to advocate for justice and stand together for what will promote peace for people who are victims of injustice. What are your thoughts regarding the significance of this day?
Well, there is a call for peace everywhere around the world, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa. But as peace demands that all hands must be on deck to achieve that one thing that makes a continent, that makes a country, that makes the global community safe for businesses and for people, to live and do other social activities. This day is sacrosanct. This day is sacred, not just for lawyers and not just for key players in the judicial landscape. Every lover of peace knows what today signifies. So it's a time where everyone should come on board and celebrate today. It's something worth celebrating.
All right, beyond the celebration, I want to borrow the word sacrosanct to use. Justice is sacrosanct. And we have seen victims who have fallen, prey to injustice being played out on them. What will be your recommendations as regard helping these victims, so to say, reintegrate in society, being compensated and all of that?
Well, be it that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, those victims of injustice are human beings. And if they are compensated, radicalized, and brought back into society through meaningful compensation, I must say that these people will be grateful.
Okay, and we've seen the use of technology criminals use to perpetrate their crimes. What kind of advice would you give security agencies if we have to curb this insecurity in the country, because you have to nip the problem in the bud?
And this is where I have to commend the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. You saw what the NCC did, but most Nigerians didn't understand. For you to have your SIM card, because most of these crimes are perpetrated through telephone, as simple as you may see the telephone. They are perpetrated through telephone, internet, and what have you. But the professor in charge said, okay, for you to own a SIM card that is operational in Nigeria, you need to link that SIM to your NIN. And if I have access to your NIN, wherever you are perpetrating the crime from, you know that you can be tracked. So I want to say that Nigeria is already along that line. But all we need to do is intensify effort to see that we are ahead of some of these guys, because they are sophisticated. We need to be sophisticated as well. We need to be in tandem with what is obtainable in the international community. Don't stay in the analog age. Follow suit, see what they do, and beat them in their game. So that's the way to go.
That was a chat I had earlier with Barrister Emmanuel Aguele on the International Criminal Justice Day, where, of course, justice must be promoted everywhere in the world. And it is timely, actually, to remember some communities in Mangu and Riam local government areas who came under attack in the last 1 month. During the attacks by gunmen, the suspected bandits killed innocent citizens and destroyed valuable property. Now, this development was brought under control by security personnel, the army, police and the civil defense. But we join our correspondent now from Just Live, Adeyaba Yang, for details to give us an update. She's at one of the communities. Ideyang, it's good to see you. Please, what's the security situation present now? Give us an update.
Yes, it's good to see you too, Ruth. The security situation in Plateau State is calm, and peace is gradually returning to the troubled areas of Mangu, Riom, and Barkin-Ladi local government areas of Plateau State, where recently more than 200 people were killed, more than 100 houses burnt. In Barkin-Ladi, we had a situation where 109 cattle were rustled. These killings have raised serious concerns, and calls for measures in the short, medium, and long term are on. And the security agencies are not leaving anything to chance. As we speak, the Operation Safe Haven, the police and other security agencies are in these troubled areas trying to ensure that normalcy returns in those areas. Recently, the Plateau State Governor, Caleb Mutfwang, had interaction with the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, and Chief of the Air Staff, where there were assurances of using legal means to ensure that Plateau State lives and tourism. And the Chief of Army Staff also encouraged the state government to ensure an expanded peace building committee where non-kinetic measures will be pursued further to ensure that sustainable peace is returned to those areas. And because of this crisis, there are pockets of IDP camps in these local government areas, and the state governor also had interaction with the Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, where he solicited for more relief materials that will enable these IDPs relocate back to their homes. Also, part of the security measures put in place, we know that Mangu local government area is where the permanent site of the NYC orientation camp is situated. And as a short-term measure, the camp has been relocated to Dwedu in Josa local government area of the state to ensure that these core members are in a secured environment. And just this morning, the Plateau State Command deployed 126 mobile policemen to these troubled areas. I'm actually at the police headquarters where the public relation officer of Plateau State Command, DSP Alfred Alabo, we shed more light on this deployment. So can you give us insight into the deployment that took place this morning?
Yes, the deployment comprises of 2 units of mobile personnel that was deployed by the Inspector General of Police, Acting IGP Egbetoku, and we are doing well. Okay.
I understand recently some delegation from the UN were in the state, and you accompanied them to some IDP camps located in these troubled areas. Can you tell us what the security situation is at these IDP camps and your findings?
Yes, some members of the United Nations, different organizations within the outfit, came to Plateau State, and in company with the Commissioner of Police, CP Bartholomew Namjoyeka PSC Daga, we were able to visit those IDP camps, and When we met them, they were doing well. Of course, they gave us one or two of their complaints and how that they would like to be returned back to their villages. And the Commissioner of Police gave them the assurance that as things continue to relax, like you know already, Plateau State is becoming more peaceful and we are returning things back to normal. And also the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operation have since been deployed to Mangu and is the person in charge. He only came to town today because of the deployment that we did today to ensure that we restore peace back to Mangu and other troubled areas. Remember, we have Riom and we have Barrack in Ladi, so that we can relocate these people and make their lives better once again.
Yes, Ruth, that is the situation for now in the state.
All right, thank you very much, Dayang, for that update. And of course, we'll connect with you again for you to keep us updated as events unfold. Thank you very much. In a bid to reawaken citizens' trust, the Police Public Complaints Committee in the Ministry of Police Affairs is sensitizing Nigerians on need to report infractions by officers and men of the force. Francis Pham reports that the committee visited Utako Market and Jabi Motor Park in Abuja for the awareness campaign.
The committee, which was established to address complaints on police violating the rights of Nigerians, was at Utako Market distributing flyers carrying PPCC contract number in case of any infractions.
And that committee is responsible for you to report any complaint you have about the police, how they behave, how they relate with people. If anything they do that is bad, report to us.
We expect them to do something different, because you can't do things over and over again and expect a different result until you do something differently.
Next port of call was the Jabi Motor Park, where the committee also sensitized and shared flyers to the commercial drivers.
If our officers, our personnel violate the rights of every Nigerian, they have an alternative channel of complaining through the Police Public Complaints Committee, and to come and reassure them that whatever complaint is forwarded to us will be treated in utmost secrecy and that they will receive timely response.
If there is any problem on the way for the bad police, it's not happy to fight with them. Just call the number we do for the sticker, call them directly, they will answer them. We appreciate what the police do it for us.
The committee has before now carried out sensitization in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Francis Pham, NTA News.
All right, we'll take a breather from this end. We're heading to Lagos to join Michael. He'll pick up with some more reports.
Increase in productive activities and capacity to produce are part of the economic plans of the present administration, being strengthened by the 4 executive orders of President Bola Tinubu. Analysts say if fully implemented, then good times are here for Nigerians in terms of economic gains. Olumide Gutola reports.
President Bola Tinubu is making good his promise, renewing the hope of Nigerians. Experts believe the executive orders he signed across some sectors of the economy are proof of masses-oriented policies of his administration.
Mr. President has a very good mind for Nigerians. Our president just want the new Nigeria.
With these tax reforms, we hope and we pray they're going to harmonize, not just harmonizing, but bring down. There are some taxes that we feel they are not necessary.
With the suspension and the relief that, Mr. President gave, that helped them quite a bit. And then this year again, through the Finance Act, they implemented an immediate increase. That sort of abrupt increase is not really palatable for companies, but also for the economy.
The actions of Mr. President, no doubt, is the antidote to negative impact of the tax adjustments on businesses and households across affected sectors.
The step that the president have taken on this issue of tax, I think more Nigerians will be more willing at every particular period of time to put in their money for more business.
Now, I will beg the tax committee that they should please look at the educators, the academicians, the researchers, and the health worker. They should consider them when it comes to tax. They should pay less.
Experts say with collaborative effort from all interest groups, the country is on the pathway to robust economic growth for Nigerians to flourish. In Lagos, Olumide Gutola, NTA News.
The palliative repairs carried out by the Lagos State government on Eko Bridge has changed the unbearable experiences of motorists on that corridor. Joe Popola reports that gridlock associated with the Eko Bridge axis has disappeared.
Akpogbo and Eko bridges are pivotal to each-free vehicular movement around the Akpogbo corridor, which is a major link to several areas on the island and mainland in Lagos. The reopening of the Akpogbo Bridge without fixing the bad spot on Eko Bridge did not address the perennial problem of traffic gridlock on the Akpogbo Bridge, which informed the decision by the state government to carry out the palliative repairs. With the reopening after the repairs, it is no longer business as usual around this corridor, as road users are enjoying free flow of traffic.
Since the bridge has opened, the economic activity of this place has really improved. And the movement of people has also been much more easier than before.
Yeah, I love it how they opened the two bridges, because it's make all these people they are selling market to move on with their market. They're very happy, because when they close these two bridges, there's no market in this area at all.
This place is okay now, and we thank God for the opening of the bridge.
Shop owners who were experiencing a lull in sales now have a cause to smile with the reopening of the bridge. Residents say they will take ownership of the project and guard it jealously. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages. The news will be back shortly from our Bini Network Center. Please stay.
Of September 2023, Edo State Civil Service will completely be operating on an e-governance platform. This informed the training of no fewer than 3,000 civil servants on the use of computers in the first phase. Goodluck Enaini reports.
The training for civil and public servants facilitated by the state government through its partners is targeted retooling the state workforce on the basics and other rudiments of ICT to improve their skills and optimal performance. The governor's intention in this regard is conveyed by the head of service, Anthony Okungboa, to the trainees on how this will assist them in the new normal.
Digitalization is the future of Africa. Governments at the national and sub-national levels in this continent are becoming smart, and we don't want to be left behind. We want to be the digital hub of this country, and everything is being done by this administration to ensure that that's achieved.
Emilia Ayeni, Ayegbeni Balogun, and Essay Amadasu are some of the trainees with high expectations.
For we civil servants, there is no more emphasis on paperwork.
At the end of it, I should be able to use the computer effectively.
Apart from de-emphasizing paperwork and strengthening e-governance as Edo State approaches the September 2023 deadline for the full digitization, laying of optics fiber across the 18 local government areas will enable those in rural communities and hinterlands have access to internet service. From Government House, Goodluck Enaini, NT News.
The Oba of Benin, AY II, has lauded the Nigerian Television Authority for using her wide reach and quality programs to showcase the rich culture and traditions of the Benin Kingdom. The monarch gave the commendation when the zonal director of NTA Benin Network Center, Esosa Ukponwa, led the management on a courtesy call to the palace. Jude Abugu has details.
The visit was intended to strengthen the existing relationship between the Nigerian Television Authority and the Benin Traditional Council, and for the zonal director to officially inform the monarch that she has assumed duty.
NTA Benin, under my headship, shall continue and improve on the relationship we have with the palace. I seek your kind approval of your Royal Majesty to do a program on the life and rule of your Majesty to coincide with your anniversary of your coronation in October.
Oba AY II gave his blessings to the new zonal director, who happens to be the first Benin woman to head NTA Benin. The royal father assured her of the continuous support of the Traditional Council, noting that NTA has always been a worthy partner in projecting the culture and traditions of the Benin Kingdom.
We do our best for you. Like I said, we ensure you succeed if you also cooperate with us.
The visit also offered the zonal director the opportunity of familiarizing herself with palace chiefs and members of the Benin Traditional Council. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
In Abuja has the next set of reports.
In a bid to ameliorate the hardship associated with the removal of fuel subsidy, Governor Hope Uzodinma has approved 40,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in the state, among other palliative measures. Faith Aguele reports that the governor made the pronouncement at a meeting with stakeholders in Owerri.
The meeting, which was interactive, was aimed at intimating critical stakeholders of the palliative measures put in place by the state government. Governor Hope Uzodinma announced 40,000 naira as minimum wage, a meal per day, and renovation of the state secretariat as some of the measures put in place by his administration to cushion the effect of the removal of petroleum subsidy, in addition to free transportation to work enjoyed by workers in the state.
Minimum wage is hereby raised to 40,000 naira with discretionary consequential adjustments of other levels. Your salaries will be able not only to take you home, but also provide your basic necessities to enable you make ends meet.
Chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress and other stakeholders applauded the governor for his laudable initiative and promise to support him at all times.
Thank God you have solved most of our problems today by saying that the 30,000 minimum wage will be increased to 40,000 naira minimum wage.
They, however, appealed to government at all levels to put more measures in place to nip in the bud the sufferings of the masses. In Owerri, I am Faith Aguele, NTA News.
All right, Jos will be our next stop, and Felicia is set to guide us.
And welcome to Jos. Following incessant attacks in some communities in Plateau State, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetako, has approved the deployment of 126 police personnel in the state. Sadatu Mohammed Kafa was at the police headquarters and now reports.
The police officers were deployed to Mangu and Riom local governments following recent series of violent attacks. The officers cut across Mopol 8 and officers who were redeployed on special assignments to Katsina and Anambra states.
What is happening in Mangu now has equally extended to neighboring communities. So the essence of this deployment is to enable us cover all those areas. And it was part of the IGP's arrangement in making sure that every part of that Mangu area is covered.
The Commissioner of Police urged the officers to be disciplined and highly professional in the discharge of their duties. Meanwhile, following the suspension of industrial action by civil servants in the state, the Plateau State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Alfred Alabo, says all local government secretariats in the state remain sealed pending court order.
The local government secretariat still remains sealed and will continue to protect the properties and the life around all our local government vicinity and also the state at large. So we urge them to go about their lawful business and be law-abiding citizens.
He advised hoodlums to stay clear from the local government vicinity, as anyone caught fomenting trouble will be dealt with according to the stipulated law. In Jos, Sa'ad Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
And that's the much we can take from here. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja after the break.
Thank you for staying tuned. The Cross River State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association has withdrawn its services indefinitely from all hospitals in the state following the kidnapping of a medical doctor, Professor Ekanem Ephraim, of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital on the 13th of July 2023. In a statement by the chairman, Dr. Felix Achibong, and Secretary, Dr. Amaku Osukwo, the association wants the government to activate all necessary instruments to ensure unconditional release of its member from the hands of her abductors. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is investigating a shooting incident involving its officers allegedly involved in a raid of a drug joint at Okmanam area of Asaba, Delta State on Thursday, where unfortunately a young person was killed by a stray bullet. The NDLEA says it is in touch with the family to provide necessary assistance to them. The Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder has arrested 4 suspects transporting illegal refined petroleum products and dismantled all illegal connections to wellhead 17 constructed by crude oil thieves in Krakrama in Degema local government area of Rivers State. Kinsley Amadi reports that the disconnection was done in collaboration with officials of the NNPC Limited.
Of the NNPC Limited in conjunction with the Nigerian Navy are at this wellhead 17 to disconnect illegal connections done by these illegal oil bunkers. We reliably gathered that this wellhead 17 was just constructed by the NNPC Limited, waiting by the illegal oil bunkers.
What I have seen here is way beyond what I've seen anywhere. The sophistication, the individuals involved, they've taken their time. They've done a lot of measurements. They've done welding on site, and I think we are already doing something. We're tracking the people involved.
In the course of today's operations, 4 persons were arrested, and the Nigerian Navy has insisted that it will be handing the 4 suspects to the relevant authorities for prosecution.
I want to assure the general public that all of those involved in this illegal activity would be arrested, and they would definitely have their day in court.
He believes that stiffer sanctions will help to deter the operators of these illegal oil refineries within the Niger Delta region. We still keep an eye on what the Nigerian Navy will be doing in the next couple of days, because they say they will not be leaving this site until all the connections are excavated and indeed this facility protected, to ensure that the essence for which it was drilled, the benefits accrue to the Nigerian government. From Krakrama in Degama local government area, I'm Kingsley Amadri, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you a sports update.
We begin with basketball. The Nigerian Basketball Federation have invited 20 players and 5 coaches for the final campaign ahead of 2023 Women Afro Basket in Rwanda. The list of invited players was released on Sunday by the Federation as the Tigers entered the final stage of preparation for the tournament. Some of the invited players took part in the trials in Lagos, Abuja, and Chicago, USA, which was organized by the Federation last week, while others were selected from the team which won last championship in 2021. Reina Wakama, who was newly appointed, is expected to lead the team to camp. And now to football. The 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier League season is built to commence on Saturday, August 12th. The head of Operation Interim Management Committee, Davison Omi, made the disclosure in a chat with Sonny Obo while stating modalities to improve the standard of the league for the new season.
The infrastructural patterns, okay, where every other thing will fit in. Once we get that one done, then you begin to add the other, things, to it. And that is what is going to beautify the season, okay? We're talking about retraining of our referees, we're talking about retraining seminars for our coaches, okay? These are, and the players too.
Away from Nigeria now, Barcelona legend and Argentina forward Lionel Messi has been officially presented to cheering crowds at his new club Inter Miami Stadium. A sold-out crowd of about 20,000 waited through downpours and lightning to see the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner given a number 10 shirt. The World Cup winning Argentina forward joins the Major League Soccer MSL club on a deal until the end of 2025. He will be reunited with defensive midfielder Sergio Busquets, with whom he played at Barcelona, who has also signed for Miami until 2025. With sport updates, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
That's nationwide. Thank you very much for your time. And don't forget to follow us on our Twitter handle. It's at NTA News Now for all the latest news update. Do have a beautiful evening. Ruth Aguele. Bye.